I've been in Faversham since 1967. I believe that's 56 years. It's a welcoming town.
Hello, Mary.
It's just so friendly.
Thank you very much.
I love the people. There's always something going on. This hat somebody down the town gave me. It was in a shocking state. It was all dirty, it was all falling apart, so I've glued it back together and give it a good refurb, and I love it. I was born in Welling, Bexley. That's me with my mum. I moved to Faversham because I was getting married. We first started to look in the Bexley area but couldn't afford anything, and we went in bigger and bigger circles, and then one evening we got to Faversham and I thought, wow, I could live here. I bought this new. I love it. It's been the best purchase of my life, you know, to come here. It's amazing. We're heading towards Stonebridge Pond, and then we pick up West Street, and that takes you into the town. I was born in 1945. That's me. I'd just been woken up. That's me and my mum. Nellie Heron to become Nellie Peters. That's me as a slightly older boy with my niece, I think that is, Christine. On the coal bunker, there is a wind-up gramophone. I loved my wind-up gramophone, so I was sort of mad about music back then, you know. My father was a military bandsman, and he played the tuba. I used to go and listen to him playing on the bandstand and march along behind with my older sister Joan. But it was all military music, which is not what I'm about. At school, we didn't do any music. It was singing hymns, and that was about it. It wasn't until skiffle came in and making up skiffle groups, you know. My old man's a dustman, etc. I wanted to be a guitarist. That's when it started, really. I first started to play a clarinet when I became disenchanted with my progress with the guitar, and I suddenly thought I really need to be able to read music, which to apply it to a guitar is almost impossible. But as soon as you take up playing a wind instrument, it's so natural. So I played clarinet for maybe 10 years, and then I started to take lessons, and it was a saxophone teacher that I went to, and he encouraged me to buy one, which I've got to say I really hated at first. I hated the sound of it. The saxophone, you have to tame it. It's a horrible sound, and you have to make it yours. Finding your voice is the ultimate aim. At last, I've fallen in love with the saxophone. It's a fun instrument, and you can do things on that that you never believed you could do. I copy singers more than I do saxophone players. You know, I love Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan. That's what I was trying to think. When I left school, I wanted to be a radio and television engineer, electronic stuff. I had a bit of a thing about it at the time, and we had an interview with the youth employment officer. He said, "Oh, no chance." So I said, "What shall I do then?" And he said, "What about engineering?" So I said, "OK." And so I ended up being an apprentice engineer, which I did for the next 50 years. That's me on my jig grinding machine. The jig grinding machine is for grinding holes and contours and faces to a very high accuracy. It's made me. Engineering makes you understand much about the world that you wouldn't understand, I think, without that training. It makes you aware of things have a system to them. And if you can understand the system, then you can do whatever it is you want to do. But as a job, I would say in 50 years at work, I didn't get one compliment, not one bit of praise. And yet, as a musician, it happens every day, which is incredible, isn't it? My neighbour Charlie and his wife Viv, they moved in around the same time that I did, as did most of my neighbours actually. We were all young, so everybody wanted to get to know their neighbours. It was an amazing place. Thank you very much, sir, for the hospice. The never-ending holiday. We used to come home at the weekend and it would be in the garden having barbecues. We started to buy little touring caravans. We even went on holidays together. This is my lovely caravan that doubles as my studio and my practice room in the winter. Charlie next door, he was just an amazing neighbour to have. Never moaned at me, and I have played some loud instruments at times, but he was always very encouraging, you know. Thank you. Charlie's a little bit older than me, and at some point he started to become poorly, but eventually succumbing to the illness and had to be taken to the Pilgrims Hospice. Thank you very much. All goes to the hospice. And he said they are like angels here. It hit me a bit, really, because he'd been my neighbour for so long. Yeah, an amazing fella. So I'm really proud to raise money for the hospice, yes. This is me. I think that's in Maidstone. just finishing a half marathon. Yeah, I still had dark hair then. It's only when I see myself in shop windows that I think, who's that old fella looking at me? In my head, I'm still the same. I like changing anyway. The new me is pretty cool. Actually, I've never had very much confidence. When you work in engineering, you're held back. You're not really supposed to be a person. You're probably the same value as a machine. You do become a bit worthless in your own eyes, you know. So to start doing what I'm doing now, it's given me a new view of myself. When I go down the town, I'm the musician. I'm not the engineer anymore, you know, which is, I think, is an amazing feeling. So, yeah, I'm loving every minute of it.